Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Neuro, and this is New Samurai, a format where I play the match muted, and then unmute, and go over the replay every time, whether I win or lose. We continue. The emphasis for today is to Overseer Scout every game! So far, I have Overseer Scouted every game. So it's all wins in the moral victory capacity. Here we go.
광물 충분치 않은 광물 부족함. 대군주 광물 더 필요함. 광물 충분치 않음. 광물 더 필요함. 광물 부족함. 광물 충분치 않음. 광물 부족함. 광물 더 필요함. 광물 충분치 않음. 대군주 더 필요함. 여왕 생성. 군단 대군주 공격하고 생성해야 함. 광물 부족함. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 에너지. 에너지. 대군주 부족함. 대군주 더 필요함. 새로운 여와 공격받고 준비된 대군주. 에너지 부족함. 군단이 진화했음. 에너지 병력이 충분치 않음. 일벌레가 공격받고 있음. 대군주 추가 배송. 에너지 부족함. 광물 충분치 않음. 광물 더 필요함. 적이 정벌에서 공격 중. 받아들일 수 없는 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 에너지 충분치 않음. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 광물 여왕 생성 성공. 점막 종양이 공격받고 있음. 에너지 부족함. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 광물 부족함. 광물 새로운 여왕 준비됨. 점막 종양이 공격받고 있음. 에너지 점막 종양이 공격받고 있음. 광물 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 에너지 종양이 충분치 않음. 광물 부족함. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 에너지 충분치 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 에너지 부족함. 점진 조항이 공격받고 있음. 광물 더 필요함. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 에너지 광물 충분치 않음. 광물 부족함. 점막 위에서 광물 에너지 변이 에너지 여왕 생성. 에너지 충분치 않음. 광물 충분치 않음. 에너지 부족함. 에너지 충분치 않음. 광맥 오가됨. 에너 대군주 더 필요함. 베스핀 가스 부족함. 대군주 더 생성해야 함. 군단 병력이 대군주 있어 부족함. 광물지대 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 광물지대 말라버린 변이 완료. 안되는 불가능함. 보급품 한도에 도달함. 에너지 충분치 않음. 안됨. 불가능함. 보급품 한 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음에 소진됨. 유전자 변이됨. 군단 변이됨. 에너지 부족함. 베스핀 가스 더 있어야 함. 에너지 베스핀 가스 부족. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음다니 진화했음. 진화 완료. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 추가 베스핀 가스 필요함. 안됨. 불가능함. 보급품 에너지 충분치 않음. 받아들일 수 없는 명령임. 유전자 변형됨. 군단 변이됨. 군락지가 직접 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 안됨. 불가능함. 보급품 한도에 도달함. 군단 병력이 안됨. 불가능함. 보급품 한도에 도달함. 군락지가 직접 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 광맥 소진됨. 에너지 부족함. 베스핀 가스. 에너지 충분치 않음. 에너지 부족함. 변이 완료. 광물지대 말라버림. 베스핀 가스 부족함. 군락지가 직접 추가 베스핀 가스 필요함. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 광맥 고갈됨. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있어. 안됨. 불가능함. 보급품 한도에 도달함. 안됨. 불가능함. 보급품 한도에 도달함. 군락지가 군단 병력받고 있음. 공격받고 있음. 변이 완료. 안됨. 불가능함. 보급품 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 광물 부족함. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 천막 종양이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 안된 불가능함. 보급품 한도에 도달함. 광물 충분치 않음. 광물 더 필요함. 광물 부족함. 광물지대 말라버림. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 유전자 변형됨. 군단 별이 됨. 안된 불가능함. 천막 종양이 공격받고 있음. 군광염의 공격받고 있음. 안된 불가능함. 보급품 한도에 도달. 안된 불가능함. 보급품 한도. 천막 종양이 공격받고 있음. 광맥 소진 군락지가 직접 공격받고 있음. 광물 군단 유전자 공격하고 있음. 군단 광물 부족함. 에너지 충 광맥 고갈됨. 군락지가 직접 공격받고 있음. 광맥 받아들일 수 없는 공격받고 있음. 천막 종양이 공격받고 있음. 광물 더 필요. 광물지대 말라버림. 광물 부족함. 에너지 부족함. 광물지대 말라버림. 에너지 광물 종양이 충분치 않고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 직접 공격받고 있음. 천막 종양이 공격받고 있음. 군단 병력이 공격받고 있음. 점막 위에서 변태 군락지가 질차 공격받고 있음. 천막 종양 에너지 부족함. 천막 종양이 공격받고 있음. SP 광물 충분치 않음.
Nice one. Why did I win? Why did I lose? We're going over this. We're going over this. Our opponent hit us with a disrespect build. Whoa, whoa, whoa. CC first, no scout? Is that what it was? Was this a CC no scout build on a short rush map? The flip side of this is Terrans feel very safe right now with the new Cyclone, so maybe this is safe. Historically speaking, I feel like this build would be unsafe. But there might be some metagame value here too, or my opponent thinks it's Neuro, he's not going to cheese me. I'm going to play greedy. Yeah. CC. CC first into Reaper as well, which is even more rare of a build. And then they went into Turtle Mech after going for some Cyclones. We'll see what my mistakes were that caused me to fall behind here. There are things you can do against Turtle Mech. I know for a lot of Zergs it's the most obnoxious style to play against from Terran. But in any RTS game there's always going to be a most annoying style. So CC first basically means I don't need to make early lings, but I already made them before I got that information. And then I scout with the lings, which honestly I feel like this was a waste. I think this was my first mistake. Because even if they go Marine instead of Reaper, they're going to have 1 to 2 out in time to deal with this. So these lings aren't really going to give me any new information. The Overlord already got me the information that I needed, which is that they agreed cheese with no scout. So that means that I should just agree to a greed war. Agree to the greed war against our Gambler. Gambler Terran. And they go for all factories, no starports. Just Blue Flame Hellion into Cyclone into mass tanks. Let's see what information I could have used to my advantage here. I think having some Overlord vision of the cliff would have been nice. Just so I could see what this Reaper was doing. But all in all, not really a disastrous early game. The 4 lings being killed was a bummer, and then I sent my Overlord in to scout, which I think is also fine because I got a full read of the build. This is a 3cc with Cyclone. So this spine here is honestly a bit of an overreaction. If my opponent was going for triple factory 2 base all in, that spine would have been really smart. But in this case, there's another command center here. So kind of fitting with their theme of extreme greed, they have to use these Cyclones to defend in the case that I send Mass Ling or Roachling or whatever at them. So I don't need to react very defensively against this. I think I overreacted making this spine. I should just take a 4th. Maybe I have to cancel it because of the Cyclone pressure, but maybe not. Get an Evo, Roach Warren, trying to drone up. My droning could have been faster here. I am making drones. I'm making 5 Overlords at once. And then this is the other downside. The Spine Crawler can help me against Hellbats, but if they just shove the Hellions in, they're going to get a bunch of worker kills here. So my Queens are out of position to deal with this. I didn't have good vision that the Hellions were going to dart that direction. So I would say that's maybe the first disaster situation for me. So my opponent has been trading better here by a lot. That's one of my Overlords dying that I sacrificed, and then that's my 4 lings that died. That's losing some drones to that Hellion shove. Definitely kind of a sloppy early game from me. So they're taking this base here. There's no defense here either. So just for like the longer term of when I face this opponent again, I know that they play extremely gambly and risky. So I can try to maybe mix in some aggression or just really double down on the greed. Those are the 2 ways to deal with this when they're playing no scout high greed. Is either you can raise them with even more greed, or you can check them with aggression. So we're going Hive here. Hive for Viper I think is fine. You can't really muta into this unless you have like 50 mutas all at once. And this map is pretty short rush. So I'm unsure of whether I should have started the Swarm Host pressure sooner. I think finding out that they're going tanks is a pretty crucial scout. I could have also done a better job of putting some Overlords on these pedestals because they don't make any starport units. This is just all about factory units. From a Terran player's perspective, I would highly recommend this strategy. This is probably one of the easiest strategies to do against Zerg, because the Cyclone is a really all-around defensive unit, And then the tank is a really high power unit that can hit power spikes and pushes later on. And you don't really have to multitask with this style. It's like the, can my clump of stuff beat your clump of stuff? Now they have a pretty big worker advantage here. So let's think about this here. I have some Roachling Ravager Viper. Where should I be attacking right now? Uphill into the 4th. Kind of sus. I don't really like that. I can get some Blinding Clouds, but I think a better strategy here would have maybe even been to push down mid, because I could abduct a couple tanks. I think abducting here is better than blinding, because I'm not really blinding clumps of tanks. It's just on one tank and one Cyclone right now. So if I just basically put my army here, and then I yoink 3 tanks and then walk away, that's a good trade. So this wasn't really a good commitment from me, especially since the early game didn't put me ahead. In a game where I was ahead, this could potentially work, but in this game here, just based on how messy the early game was from me, I'm not in a position to kill them, especially not at a planetary 4th. So this was another big mistake. So I'll give myself credit for getting a good Overlord scout of the build, but I didn't really respond to the information that I got as intelligently as I could have. I should have made... I should have kept my 4-lings alive for starters. And I think my army comp here is fine. I just need to have more of a abduct with the Viper into my army and trade efficiently mindset, rather than try to Blinding Cloud and push into them and win. And they're just gradually crawling out to new bases, massing tanks. There is a point where the Cyclone count could get low enough that I could go for a Muta switch temporarily until the Thors show up. But I didn't have a Spire until later on this game, and I don't really have that much gas, because I was trying to go for Ling Roach Ravager. So we delay a 5th, but I'm not really as ahead as I thought I was at this point. So yeah, I think looking to apply pressure on this map specifically around the 3rd base, if I could kill this sensor tower, that would give me a lot more surprise value for where I attack. And then this spot really isn't that bad to attack into if I have vision on the high ground and I can abduct some of the tanks into my army. If I hold this position, I think I win. Or at least I put them in a really awkward spot. What I don't want to do is attack into tank plus planetary, which I did at least a couple times this game. Then they're going 2-2 and then eventually into 3-3. That was a fairly good trade for me there. And then they eventually get into ghosts. All in all, a reasonable effort. Very good to kind of assess how the early game went and realize that I didn't capitalize on how much space my opponent gave me by playing greedy. So I was being a little bit too stubborn in trying to headbutt into their bases. It would have been smarter to just get up to 80 or 90 drones of my own and then start maxing out and trading efficiently. If I do go up to 80 or 90 workers, I should not really have Swarm Hosts. I think just Roach Viper would be fine. Ling Roach Viper. So I can make a lot of cheap units and then use Vipers to assist them. But we're basically dying here, just trying my best. Nice game from the opponent. I'll have to remember that they CC first, no scout, which is pretty spicy of an opening. But it definitely gives you a clear advantage of eco early on. I did have the worker lead here. Skipping my lings was a mistake. Whenever ling speed is finishing and I have 2 base mineral, it's good to make at least 12 lings to prevent Hellions from diving. I didn't do that, and I lost a bunch of workers to that. So the main mistakes were, don't send the lings early on. If it's CC first, I already got the information with the Overlord. I can save those to help me against the Hellions later. And then don't skip the 12 lings versus the Hellion dive. It's still pretty good against Cyclones too. Just making 12 lings at that time is responsible. And then be more disciplined about abducts with my army if they're playing passive tank. I don't need to force the issue and try to kill my opponent, especially if I'm not ahead from the early game. But yeah, that's why I lost this game. Thanks all for tuning in to the new Samurai style.